Seen a lot of people lose their homes. I remember going after the storm, going back home to the Beaumont area and helping people, old like 90-year-old people having their whole life and their homes and stuff, and just stuff they can never get back. Money can't. Losing memories and pictures of their lives, their children's lives, their grandkids' life, and their parents. I mean, just generations of possessions just gone. You know. From the floodwaters, and that's sad. Helping them clean out their house and seeing people's look in their face when they lost everything.
Yeah, I think after the fact, it kind of struck me more because here I remember driving down 45 at midnight and seeing like car dealerships with brand new cars halfway underwater, and I drove home the next day and seeing the feeder roads just full of flooded cars.
Yeah.
I don't live here, so I got home. It was kind of like back to normal. When I came back, and then like a weekend afterwards, I came down. Those people got houses, and then just 2 months ago, I actually came down and helped a family with a group with our church, and they didn't have flood insurance, and they were still out of their homes. So, and then there's a lady that lives in an apartment over here. We had a call for her one night. She fell, and she lives in an apartment by herself. She's in her 80s, and she lived in a home over Memorial for years and years, and her house flooded, and she lost everything, and so she's living over here. So. There's still reminders I see even today.
I think we get a little bit better each time. Are we 100%? I don't know, but we're getting better. We're getting better. We have more high water vehicles. We have more resources. We have probably, I don't know, maybe we might have triple the resources today that we had during Harvey. We have reacted and got a lot of those resources now. So yeah, we're probably better prepared. If you tell everybody evacuating is not needed, you're in trouble. If you tell everybody not to evacuate and something bad happens, you're in trouble. So it's kind of a no-win situation sometimes, So I look at the, was it Rita? I get them confused, where we had the big evacuation, and from here to my house up the other side of Conroe was a backlog of people, and people died out on the freeway. So it's a tough call. I don't know the right call.
I just really suggest people to listen, and especially in these times where if we know there's a storm coming and let's just say that we're not evacuating again, listen to the certain tips that they're giving you, like don't drive your vehicles down high water or water that's present. A lot of people think that, hey, I have a truck or I have a van, or well, I could make this road, and we've made so many people. Fortunately, we were able to get to them, and they could have risked having the construction from 2 days ago and gone down and being submerged. Like, that's just terrible scenes that other firefighters around the city have made, or they got trapped. And it's just one of those things that driving with high waters, just don't do it. I know a lot of people say, well, I had to, and your life could be at risk. The other thing is knowing your city. I know some people don't know the city as well, but knowing your city, knowing where it floods, if it does flood, even if the mayor or the city or HFD, HPD tell you we're not going to evacuate, but your subdivision might evacuate, go ahead and just take that preventative, like, let me gather my stuff, let me take some things and move. That way you keep yourself safe, and you can avoid that, having to get rescued and I know this happened overnight, so it was hard, but just kind of keeping up with the weather. Sometimes people don't keep up with that kind of stuff. So
I was actually, that night I was driving the ambulance, and I remember specifically when it started raining, we had got a call to one of the gas stations where we normally go, and we had put on our fire boots instead of our regular boots because the water was about 3 inches maybe, and in the 15 minutes we were at this call at this gas station, we walked back outside and the water was already about a foot high. We had a hard time just getting back to the station. I think it was 2 years previous to that was the Memorial Day floods. We were on shift that night also, and I know we made multiple just getting people out of their vehicles, but by about 2 o'clock in the morning the water from that one was subsiding to where Harvey it did not. But that same night we had made a fire, and they lost a lot more of their property because it took us so long to get there because we couldn't drive fast through the water. And where it was, other people that were closer were already on different calls. So it was farther out units that had to get there. So that apartment complex lost a lot of more property than what it could have.
Yeah, and speaking on that, like, resources were a lot more limited this time. Like she was saying with a fire, I was here on 3 different shifts, and on the 2 different shifts that I was on, we made 2 fires. And normally a building that's 3 or 4 stories high, you'd have like so many people. We have half of the staff because they just couldn't get to our area. They were flooded in, or vice versa. We got called out to like Station 6 in that area, and for us, it's right down the street if we could get there. So it took us 20 minutes just to get to the house on fire. We get there, and it's only one fire truck working the whole thing. So it was definitely harder for the guys, but it's one of those things we don't stop. If we get called out, we find a way. We go around, we drive, and then we take care of business. But we were definitely short on some areas just because of the flooding. It was just we couldn't get the fire trucks through.